Hey, what's up everyone? So I wanted to follow up my Charge 4 video with an Inspire video. So I've been using the Inspire HR for the past year or so. And about a month ago, I picked up the Inspire 2. And these devices are, I'd say, relatively similar. But there's some upgrades that Fitbit made with the new Inspire 2. So I just kind of wanted to go through those and just discuss what changes they've made. Also, I picked up a new Rode Video Mic Wireless. So hopefully the audio quality is good. I got the little dead cat on here. It's pretty windy out. So let me know how that sounds. I kind of wanted to test this as well. So anyways, if you saw my last video, you know that the Inspire HR was my tracker of choice. I like its small design. I really like the approach of just having it on all the time. The design of it is such that it's so small and unnoticeable on your wrist that I sometimes just forget that I'm wearing it entirely. And for me, that's really what a fitness tracker should be. It's something that you don't worry about charging too much. It's very sleek. You can sleep with it on. It doesn't bother you. You can shower with it, That being said, the Inspire HR did have a few small issues with it. Mainly the 4-day battery life, which wasn't great. And also the dim brightness in the screen. Now I feel like the Inspire 2 kind of went a little bit under the radar with the big announcement of the Versa 3 and the Sense, which is a new product from Fitbit. Now, it does seem that they are making kind of a shift towards the smartwatch territory, but I think the Inspire 2 is a really strong case that they're not abandoning fitness trackers as a whole. So, the Charge lineup, the Inspire lineup, and I think they might even have some cheaper ones. But if we look at the two, and also you will have to excuse my Inspire HR, I took a pretty big spill downhill mountain biking, so it is pretty scuffed up. Here's the new one. In terms of the actual physical size, they are very similar. If you look at the thickness, the Inspire 2 is actually a little bit thinner, but the Inspire HR weighs less. So I don't know what it is, but it's a little more dense. That being said, though, the sensors are pretty much identical within the two, if you can see down there. Now, starting with the physical things, they did get rid of the button. So the Inspire HR has a physical click button here, and the new Inspire 2 has kind of a capacitive touch button here. It's certainly less satisfying than clicking a button, but it does provide a little kind of haptic feedback, so that's kind of where they moved with the lineup. The Charge 4 has the same thing, has a little capacitive side button here. Looking at the weight, the weight of the Inspire 2 is about 3 grams more, so not really anything you're going to notice, just a little bit. I did go with the white band here, but they are interchangeable, as you can see. Even from the Inspire HR to the Inspire 2 lineup, and that's kind of nice to see overall when you have that backwards compatibility. The band is a little bit different, so it's not going to fit perfectly, but it fits well enough if you did want to use some of your old bands with the new one, and that's always something good to see. One very welcome feature is the brightness boost. So out of the box, it'll be set to off, but you can turn on the brightness boost, which significantly makes a difference. And out of the box already, you can see the visibility is a little higher. So that's definitely a welcome change, because there have been so many times when I've tried to look at the time or my step count, and you have to do that kind of cupping around it so then you can see, especially if you're in broad daylight. So I really like that feature. One of the things I find a little bit annoying is kind of just like the Charge 3 and the Charge 4 that I talked about, where they changed the charger even though the design is virtually the same. The Inspire 2 now has a new charger, which you can see it kind of clips in and is different from the magnetic one from the Inspire HR. Now, the Inspire HR connector, it could disconnect sometimes if you tugged it a little bit or if it fell. So I do think that's a good change, but I think they just need to keep a consistent charger or move to wireless charging, because a lot of their customer base might upgrade throughout lineups, and then, you know, every time you upgrade, instead of having an extra charger, they just completely change it, which is kind of annoying in my opinion. Now, it will come with a small and a large band, and they're easily interchangeable with the little pull tab. The biggest change here is by far the battery life. And to be honest, that's probably the biggest reason why I upgraded. So I never really had many complaints about the HR, except maybe the screen brightness. But having a 4-day battery life versus having a 10-day battery life is huge. You know, this means you can go on a week-long trip, not have to bring a charger, not worry about it. And quite frankly, you know, the Inspire HR, if you don't have the auto notification on, and if you don't use it much for actual notifications, you know, I had this thing last like 5 or 6 days. So I've definitely hit the 10-day mark on this, and I imagine that I can even hit more, maybe 11, 12 days with those more conservative features, and if you don't have the brightness turned to the highest setting. So that's really cool, and that alone I think makes, you know, an upgrade justified. But if you're kind of new to this market, then I would definitely recommend the Inspire HR. You can find it for between 60 and 70 bucks. The Inspire 2 retails for 99, but today, as of this review, this is actually $69.95 on most retailers. So that's a steal, I think, for this. If you're looking to pick one up right now, definitely get the Inspire 2. You know, it's better in every way than the Inspire HR. But if you see this review in like a month or two, this will probably be back at its normal price. And then I do think the Inspire HR kind of is a enticing offer, you know, for 60, 70 bucks. It's really not that much. And it does theoretically everything the same that the Inspire 2 does. In terms of running or, you know, biking, these will connect to your phone to use the GPS. Now, I've found sometimes it can be a little inconsistent. Sometimes it takes a while to connect. Sometimes it doesn't connect at all. Sometimes it connects right away. So I'd really like to see that feature kind of improved a little bit. That's something that for a fitness tracker I think should just work 100% of the time and really shouldn't be very fussy. I have ran with this a bunch, the new one, and I found it to be just as accurate as the old one because I've gone on similar runs and, you know, they tracked identically. Also, the sleep data seems to be very consistent as well. And if I wear them both at the same time, I can do a little test and see that the optical heart rate sensor is reading the same on both of them. For exercise, you know, I find it pretty good. Fitbit's added some, you know, active zone minute features in their app, and they also have workout intensity maps. So if you look at your map, you can see your kind of splits and whatnot, which is kind of cool. The Smartwatch features are kind of the same. I don't use very many of them. I just want to know when someone's calling me. So for that, it works great. But, you know, I'd say a device like this really isn't meant for that. It has a pretty tiny screen, so reading stuff on it is not very useful. If you want something that's a little better for that, I'd say, you know, the Charge 4 has a bigger screen, or the dedicated Versa or Sense that are actual like smartwatches. Those are probably better for that. But like I said, this is just something just for activity tracking, you know, sleep monitoring, step counting, that you don't notice is on you because it's so small. And, you know, I've found it to be pretty reliable too. It would have maybe been nice to have some like music controls make the cut this time, but unfortunately we don't have that. There are some good watch faces that you can kind of flick through. I found there's some newer ones that have been updated, but I think you can get all of those on the Inspire HR as well. So guys, I just wanted to give a little quick comparison here. If you haven't seen my review of the Charge 4 or the Charge 3, and I also talked about the Inspire HR in that, go check that out. Definitely recommend getting a screen protector if you're going to get one of these. It can get scuffed up pretty easily, and they're pretty cheap too. I certainly appreciate the brightness of the screen here. But mainly, I think the battery life is the biggest reason to upgrade if that's something that annoys you, or if you travel a lot and don't want to be carrying your charger with you. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions on these two or even the charge, just leave them below. I'll try to get back to you, and I'll catch you next week. Now I'm gonna go inside. It's cold as hell. Also, if you live in a cold place, check out this heated jacket review. It's awesome. I use it all the time, and I can't highly recommend it enough.